And I'll just start.
Look at the camera.
Yeah, yeah, you're talking to the world.
Talking
right
to the
there.
camera.
Talking
Okay.
to them. Hey, Goat here again with N Productions, and we're here again to do another interview. And today we're going to talk with Renaissance man, super skater, NMen hero of all of ours, Rick Riffle. So we're back here with Rick Riffle, and you know, Rick Riffle is one of the hardest chargers of anybody out there, and he's also a hard charger at life, and we'd like to start off with just ask Rick, tell us a little bit about how you get into skateboarding and how you started.
Well, I think I was about maybe six, seven. There were some kids in my neighborhood that were skating, and they had, there was like around the corner in a cul-de-sac, they had these wedge ramps that were like 2 feet high, about 6 feet long, and they were not even very wide, like maybe 3 feet wide. They were going up and doing kick turns on them. And I had a skateboard, little plastic one. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I would go over there and hang out with them and actually learn how to kick turn on those ramps. That was my very first experience with the ramp. And then I had some other friends a little ways away. Everybody was way older than me. All the kids that skated, they were like in their teens, and I was 6 or 7 years old. And these other guys had this kind of like this three-tiered wedge ramp. So it was like bank, 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 right? No tranny. And they actually gave me that ramp. They built another ramp and that had regular tranny, and they gave me that ramp, and I had it at my house, and I would go and I'd learn how to do kick turns on that. And my dad took me to Sierra Wave and Skateboard Palace. A handful of times, less than 10 times did I ever go to a skate park.
And how old would you be about
I was
this time?
6, 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
I had a few pictures of what do you call it? Not Skateboard Palace, the other one. Sierra Wave of me skating at that
young,
time.
which is neat.
Neat. Just kick turns, that's all I could do.
And we all would have been, ourselves probably be 14, 15 right about that.
Right, I think Caton was probably, what I always wonder now, because I see pictures now that I skate when I'm older, I've seen these pictures of Caton there, and I wondered if he was probably there at that time, at that time period. And but I didn't know those guys, right? They were all way older than me.
Interesting. So you're coming in at a time, and that's why we all go so far back. But so we've got, you started skateboarding. When did you really decide and know that it was skateboarding?
Well, in my teens, in the 80s, I was a street skater. Street skating was big, and in high school and junior high, I got really into it, and I absolutely loved it. Ollieing over stuff and wall rides and all that stuff was super fun. I had no access to vert though. I had no access to vert or any kind of ramps really, so it was all street skating, and that went up through like maybe 19, and then I kind of got out of it again, and didn't get back into it again until I was about 35. I had a son. And one day, and we lived apart, shared him, and one day he sent me a letter in the mail and said, "Daddy, when I come over next time, I want you to take me to the skate park." And that, I still have that letter, and that was the moment. Like I took him to the skate shop, built him a complete, and we started skating. And then I realized, because I had been out of it, I'd skate on off and on, but not seriously, like real serious in the 80s. And then I got out of it and was just doing life, whatever. But once I started skating with my son, it was on. Like as soon, I realized that the stoke of learning a trick or getting a trick, like even though it was simple stuff, I was kind of learning all over again. And I was learning tranny because skateboard parks were all over the place at that point. And I just realized the stoke was the same as when I was a teenager. And I was, wow, this is just as fun, if not more fun. And now I have access, or I have a car and could drive wherever I want to go. And it's been kind of on since then.
Do you start skating? How competitively were you skating?
Not super competitive. I did some contests back in the 80s. I have a trophy. I won a Go Skate contest that Steve-O was a judge at, actually. But I didn't know him at that point, but he was one of the judges. It was at, what was it? Fucking, not Boreal, but the one that's Donner Summit, Donner Ski Ranch. It was in the parking lot of Donner Ski Ranch. And it was a Go Skate contest, and I still have the trophy. I'm super proud of it still, right? I love it. And it's my only trophy, right? I've done well in some other contests, the OG Jam series, now that I'm older, and I've done well in a few of those. But in my meeting with the NMen, that was really kind of serendipitous. met a guy, I met Jason Richardson, right? I met Jason through Facebook, right? I was skating, but I was kind of skating by myself, and I didn't really know the NMen, and skating by myself in Placerville, at this Placerville skate park. I was the only old guy wearing pads, full pads, right? Riding mini ramps, and then my dad sent me a news clipping from the Sacramento Bee that was about the NMen, right? And Steve-O talked about, he still has clippings of it, but he sent me that, and it talked about these older guys that were still skating after all this time. And so I went on Facebook and I was like trying to find them, trying to figure out who they were. And because I grew up in Sacramento, and that's where all these guys are from. And eventually I met Jason. And then through Jason, he turned me on to the Beeble Bowl. He's the one that got me in to go over there, and I started helping out there. It was before they poured the decks, so I was helping out doing shoveling rock and whatever, and started skating the Beeble Bowl, and then got into Skate MD because of Drea, and which was just amazing, right? Skate MD is.
Tell us again. Now we've touched on Skate MD, as I mentioned, with a couple other people. And NMen is really involved with that in general. Tell us a little more quickly about Skate MD, what it is.
Sure. So Melanie and Drea, the MD of Skate MD, it's Drea Biebelheimer and Melanie, starts with the B, can't remember her last name, but they created Skate MD, and they teach, we teach disadvantaged youth, kids with learning disabilities or even physical disabilities sometimes. We teach them to skate. Right, and so every other month there's a clinic. It's all volunteer. Everybody volunteers their time, and we'll have 25 kids and somewhere between 25 and 40 volunteers, skater volunteers of kids. Yeah, Joey! Yeah. Sorry, Joey just sent it, so I had to claim it. So yeah, there'll be a bunch of kids, and it's just a day of skateboarding, and we teach the kids how to skate. And sometimes you're holding them, like physically holding them on the skateboard, and the other ones, are pretty good at it. The last kid I had knew how to drop in and could, do kick turns and whatnot. And so you're just trying to help them along, like help them progress a little bit, or just show them for the first time, or just give them a day of concentrated kindness. Really, is what their whole mission is: bring kindness to kids.
Wow.
And it's absolutely wonderful, right? I mean, it's like those are the best days.
And we're finding, as we mentioned a lot, and we're talking about skateboarding as we move along is about more than skateboarding, but skateboarding is what made it all happen and brought us all together. So, Rick, what else? Tell us what the future holds. What else? What else do you do?
I just want to say though that I'm so grateful to the NMen because I'm new, right? I'm newish to the NMen. I don't go all the way back. I skated back then, but I didn't know those guys. Way back in the 70s, but they just welcomed me with open arms. You show up, you skate. I got shown this. The second NMen party was like the summer session second time I'd ever gone. Steve-O showed up late, and I wondered where he was, and he was like, "Oh, I was at the Glory Hole." And I remembered hearing about the Glory Hole, but I had no idea where it was. I just knew it was a big full pipe, didn't know anything about it, and so through him, I started getting to come here and absolutely loved it. It's amazing, and it's like nothing else. Learning how to skate this is probably my 8th year now, and it's so great. And look at all these people. It brings all these people together, and I'm just so grateful to NMen to give my skateboarding like a home. It's been wonderful. They've been super kind to me and welcoming and honoring me, and I really appreciate it.
That's what we said. That's why we said we had to talk to Rick Riffle today, because he's the hardest charger out there in life and skateboarding and everything else. And to thank him for hanging around for an interview.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Thank you.